Everyone, Tremayne Tatem here with the Entrepreneurial Innovation Hub. Want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and welcome you to our business plan writing support session. This is our first session, so definitely want to lay some ground rules before we get started. So the first thing, if you can please close your tabs. I know sometimes when you get onto a webinar, you want to bounce back and forth to other things. What I'm asking for this particular webinar, please shut your tabs so that you can focus and concentrate on what I'm going to be sharing with you in regard to writing your business plan. The second thing, please have a pen and pad, have something to write with, so that if I say something that jogs your memory or gets your attention, you can always write it down so you can remember. So those are the two housekeeping rules. A little bit about me. I have experience with writing business plans, helping small businesses write business plans. I've been doing that for over a decade now. So I do have somewhat of an expertise in writing business plans. But let me tell you about a student that I worked with actually a few weeks ago on writing her plan. She is a non-business student. She never wrote a business plan in her life. Plus, she didn't know where to start. And we spent some time together. I helped her get her thoughts together in terms of her business plan. And she sent me an email after she got her grade back, basically telling me she got a 23 out of 25 on her business plan. And she went on to say that she's glad that she didn't get a 10 on it. And she thanked me for my guidance. So with that said, just to let you know, like I do have some experience with helping people, especially people that never wrote a business plan. So that's what I want you to pay attention and focus. What I want to do is get into how our workshop's going to be structured. So there's going to be two modules. The first module, we're going to cover the business plan overview. We're going to look at some of the common mistakes that students make when they're writing their business plan. We're going to look at research, the importance of research, how that sets the tone for writing your business plan. Then we're going to look, lastly, at some basic terms that you're going to have to know a little bit of understanding on to get started. And then in the second module, we're going to look at how you can find the right idea. So we're going to look at 5 ways to find your idea for the business plan. And then I'm going to give you an ideation assignment. I'm going to give you an assignment on how you can quickly find a business idea. How does that sound? Can we go for it? Can we go on? Perfect. Great. Okay, so with the business plan, I want to just start with this quote from Benjamin Franklin. He says, by failing to prepare, you prepare to fail. And basically, going into the business plan, preparation is critical. How you prepare for this business plan is going to determine the grade that you get. So that's what these workshops are all about. It's going to help you prepare for each section of the business plan. So if you have any questions, I'm here to answer. Also, they're here to keep you accountable as well. So let's jump right into the 5 common mistakes students make before writing their business plan. The first one, and I see this all the time, procrastination. Hey, I'm not going to lie. I procrastinate too on things. But when you're writing your business plan, especially in a summer session where you have 6 weeks, you don't want to procrastinate because very quickly the work's going to pile up on you. And I've seen students do this over and over again. So don't procrastinate. That's a common mistake. The second common mistake I see a lot of students make is they overhype their idea. So what that means is they get an idea, they're going to create this restaurant everybody's going to come eat, and they get so excited and they get so romantic about the idea and they forget about the execution. We'll talk a little bit more about that. So once you get your idea, don't overhype it. The third common mistake I see a lot of students make is bad research. And what I mean by that is getting research from sources that aren't credible. Doing bad research will set you off on the wrong path really fast. And then what happens when you have bad research, the information in your business plan is inconsistent. And that's the fourth common mistake. Inconsistencies with writing your business plan. With the different sections that you're writing, they're inconsistent. And then The final reason why I see students, the mistakes they make is being very intimidated by the financial section. The financial section, I see students that are very intimidated by it because all the numbers. But we're going to look at how you can actually get past that. So these are some 5 ways that I suggest to overcome these common mistakes. So you want to keep yourself accountable. So create for yourself a timeline. Put it in your calendar. These are things that will help you from not procrastinating. Also, use these workshops as an opportunity to be kept accountable. Have a student, one of your peers, that you can send an email and say, "Hey, let's work together on keeping each other accountable." So that's the first thing you can do to overcome one of the common mistakes. The second thing, rather than putting too much focus on the idea, focus on the execution of the plan itself. Because at the end of the day, everybody has a good idea, or they think it's a good idea. But if you don't execute the plan and get it in on time, it doesn't matter. The third reason the third reason to overcome one of the common mistakes is making sure that you find credible sources. The internet is literally a wild, wild west of information. So you want to make sure you're sourcing your research from credible sources. That's very important. The fourth way you can overcome one of these common mistakes is have someone review each section of your plan. So, for instance, when you're working on your marketing plan, have someone, either myself, your professor, or one of your peers, review the plan. That way, it can keep you on track. That way, when they read it, they can see if it's consistent in the content. Because sometimes when we read it ourselves, we may not be able to see what others can see. And then the last thing for overcoming the common mistake of being intimidated by the financial section is do a back of the napkin calculation. And basically what that means is I have a napkin over there. Pull out a napkin and write down some numbers in terms of how much are you going to charge for your particular item or product or service you're selling. What are the expenses that are going to be involved? That way you can get an idea of the profit. You can write down what are some of the potential things that are going to, as far as that you're going to need to start up your business. You can do that on a quick piece of paper. That way it's less intimidating. When you get to the financial section, you're going to have a general idea on your revenue generators and your expenses, and the things that are going to help you be profitable in formulating your business plan. Okay, research. It's so critically important to do your research on your business plan for these reasons. The first one is doing research before you do your business plan is it helps you reduce the risk factors. If you don't know what's out there, you're gonna expose yourself to so much risk, like risk of getting the wrong customer. Imagine starting your business and you're doing a plan around the wrong customer, the person that's going to buy the product or service that you're providing. So having the proper research, doing the right research, will help you reduce those factors. Research will help you boost up your profits, because once you understand, and we'll talk more about this as we move on, is your expenses, like being able to find things at a lower cost. That will help you that will help you be more profitable. Finding out the proper price point for your product or service that you're selling. That will all help you be more profitable as you're putting together your business plan. Also, it'll help you improve customer relations. Through your research, you'll find out really quickly what your customers are looking for. what your customers' expectations are. You'll find out why your customers buy your particular product or service that you plan on selling. So it'll help you improve your customer relations. The fourth reason is it'll help you measure market feasibility. And all that really means is, does your business make sense? Is this the right time? Are you doing it with the right people? Are you in the right location? All of these questions that you're asking yourself, you will discover through your research. And then lastly, business growth. And business growth can be measured in certain ways. It can be measured by revenue, but one of the key indicators of is your business growing is if you're hiring people. So you need to know, and when we get to the operations and staffing plan, we'll talk more about this, is you need to know who your first hire is going to be, how much that person, how much is their time worth, how much is their hour worth. That will help you determine your business growth. So these are some of the factors why it is super important to be very good at researching. Okay, so one of the things that before I start any type of new project, one of the things that I do, and I'll share this with you as well, is I look for what are the key terms, what are the key words that I need to know, that I need to know the definitions for, so that I can begin to communicate effective when I'm writing out my business plan or communicating my business plan. So this is a word cloud here that's on the screen here. And these are just some of the words that you're going to need to have some understanding. And I'm sure if you check your book, you'll be able to get some definitions for it. So words like target market, expenses, profit, liabilities, assets. These are words that you may never heard before. So before we talked about preparation earlier, really brush up on some of the terminology that you're going to need to know in order to complete each section. So each section of your business plan, you're going to have different terminology. So if you're working on your marketing plan, you're going to want to know what a target market is. You're going to want to know what the 4 Ps are. If you're working on your financial section, you're going to want to know what expenses are, what profit means, what break-even analysis is. So take the time. I'm sure in your books, you can go to the back of the book, there's a glossary. Just read through it and get refreshed on that. This is one of the things that I start when I'm working with students. And if you decide to do a one-on-one session with me, I start with seeing how well they know these terminologies, because that lets me see how much you grasp the business language. So what we're going to get into next, like I said before, module 2, we're going to look at, now that you understand, like you're prepping for the business plan, writing the business plan. Now we're going to look at finding the right idea. So there's 5 different sources that you can look into to find the right idea. So source number 1 is you want to find the things that make you happy or that you're passionate about, or something that may be a current hobby right now. Maybe you like, maybe I'm dating myself with this. Maybe you like collecting baseball cards or garbage pail kids. And that's currently just a hobby that you do, or Pokemon Go. You want to figure out how can you turn this into a business. Maybe you can sell those things on eBay. So first, source number 1, what are the things that make you happy? What are the things that you're passionate about? Maybe you love cooking and everybody says, hey, I would buy that soup off of you that you make. That's when the light bulb should go on. Maybe I should do a restaurant or something, or sell these soups. So source number 1, something that you're happy, that makes you happy or you're passionate about. Okay, let's look at source number 2. This is the opposite of source number 1. So source number 2 is find the thing that frustrates you. What in your life is frustrating you, or what's causing friction in your life or making things harder for you. Those are very easy ways, because I know as we go through life, we have so many different frustrations or frictions or those questions that you say, man, what if we can do it like this rather than doing it like that? That is a really good way of finding a business idea. Look at the things that frustrate you, that cause friction in your life or in other people's lives. And that's our third source. So source number 3 is find problems other people are facing. And you know, when you have those conversations with people and they tell you their problems, those are opportunities to turn those problems into a business idea. And if I had more time, I would get into some more examples, and maybe that's something we can do. If you want to meet with me one-on-one, I can give you examples of these things. So listen out for problems people are facing. So that's source number 3. Source number 4, how you can help people save time and money. Anytime you can help someone save time and money doing something, that can turn into a business idea. So think about those times when, or even in your own life, where you would want to save time. Like, let's look at like a business like Uber. Now, this is a really big business, but Uber saves people time and money. You can actually just push one button, and a car is going to come pick you up. So that helps people save time and money. So source number 5. Now, this is a borderline interesting source, but it's a true source, and I've used this on many occasions, is listen to conversations happening on social media. I always call social media a marketer's dream. I went to Temple University. My degree's in marketing, and one of the things that we're trained to do is to understand what's going on in the customer's minds, so that you can put messages out there that resonates with them. So the shortcut to that is listening to conversations on social media. And once you do that, you can hear some of these other sources. You can hear where people are experiencing friction and frustrations with other service providers or product providers. You can hear problems people are facing. You can hear where people are saying, hey, I spent too much money on XYZ product or service, or man, this took too long. These are all conversations that are going on social media all day long. This is a good opportunity for you to turn some of those things, those conversations that you see, into a business idea. So I hope those 5 sources make sense to you. And I'm sure you've thought about these things, you just haven't put it in this context. So I have an assignment for you. So what you're going to do, this is what I want you to do. I want you to choose one of those idea sources or a combination of those idea sources. And then what I want you to do is write down a minimum of 20 ideas that come from those sources listed. So for instance, I give you 5 different sources of where business ideas can come from. Maybe you can do 4 ideas from each source. So that way you have a minimum of 20. If you're feeling creative, you can keep going. But once you have that list of ideas down, then what you can do is you can narrow that list down to the top 5 ideas that you believe would be viable as a business idea. And then lastly, choose one of those ideas to build a plan around. And that's the starting point. Once you have that idea, that's half the battle of writing this business plan. The rest will follow in terms of research and everything. So with that said, that ends our first workshop. We want to keep these short. We want to keep these fast paced. I understand you have so much going on. I hope you got some value out of this. So our next workshop session, we're going to be talking about how to take that idea once you have the idea. Now you want to build a vision. You want to write a vision and a mission statement for that idea. And we're going to talk a little bit more about why that's important. And then we're going to look at writing your marketing plan. Because once you have the idea, once you have your vision, once you have your mission, now you want to get it out there. You want to see what path you can take to actually market that idea so that it turns into an actual business. So with that said, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. My contact information is right here. You can contact me at ttatem@ltric.edu if you have any questions. If you want to meet with me one-on-one, I do have those sessions on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then Mondays and Wednesdays, I normally do group sessions. So feel free to contact me in any of those ways. With that said, have a good day.